Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first live stream at the Advising Center, CSUMB. My name is Louis. I'm the analyst for academic advising, and let me introduce our two other advisors here. Mindy, why don't you go?
So hi everyone, my name is Mindy Sanchez-Ryan. I work with social and behavioral science, global studies, visual and public art students, as well as lower division collaborative health and human services, world languages and cultures, music, Japanese language and culture, and Spanish majors.
Hi everyone, and my name is Meg Austin. I'm an academic advisor for the science majors on campus, so that's biology, marine science, environmental science, and environmental studies. Thanks for coming to our live stream.
So before we get into the real meat of it, I want to make some housekeeping announcements from a tech perspective and then kind of give you a big picture overview of what these are and what they're for. First off, just basic housekeeping. There's a couple ways you could be watching this stream. One, you could watch it on YouTube, and that's fine. If you can watch the entire stream on there. I'll be monitoring the comments throughout the stream. If you ask questions on that, I will. We'll take a break every now and then, and I'll take some time to answer them if we can. We'll try to answer every single question that comes in. Also, on the actual YouTube box in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see a yellow rectangle that says "Be a part of the conversation." If you click that, you can watch this stream on Google+, and Google+ has a really cool QA feature that you can use, and we can also answer those questions in real time, and it'll save them so you can come back to them. Either one is fine. If you don't have a Google+ account, that's totally okay. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube. And now, beyond that, why are we having these live streams? So we're going to have, I believe, 13 live streams, and each one is going to have a different focus, and really we want you to watch all of them so that you can get the best picture of how to register. And that really is the whole point of these live streams, is getting you registered for classes during the summer, which you're going to do in late June after you come to new student orientation. So today's focus is on understanding the catalog, which is kind of your guide for what classes to take. And then tomorrow is going to be how to look at the web schedule. We're going to do one on just for freshmen, how to pick classes, just for transfer students, what classes you should be looking at, and then we'll do some specialized ones on remediation, early starts, and if you can't make any of these live, they're all going to be saved after the fact, so you can go back to these same links and you can watch the presentation then. But we really want you to watch them live because you can ask those questions, and some of these presenters will be your actual advisors, so you might as well get to know them now. With that being said, let's get started. Meg, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Louis. So as Louis mentioned, today's webinar is going to be covering how to navigate the CSUMB catalog. So basically, the CSUMB catalog offers a very large amount of information regarding CSUMB policies and procedures, and also it has all the course requirements for your major, as well as the university requirements students should be considering when they are students here at CSUMB. Today we're going to be focusing more on how you can access the requirements for your each of your individual majors, and so you can basically, this is important to cover because this is a good place to start in terms of your navigation of what classes you'll need to be choosing for your major and how to complete each of your requirements. So today we're basically going to be focusing on the part of the catalog. What we're going to be focusing on today is how you can use the catalog as a tool to view your university and your major requirements based on your catalog year. So your catalog year, you might be wondering what that is. So what does that even mean? What does your catalog year mean? It basically, your catalog year refers to a specific set of requirements. These requirements are established by year. So catalog requirements can be updated for every major every year. So it's important to know what your catalog year is because those are the set of requirements that you have to complete to graduate. All of your catalog years are going to be fall 2016, spring 2017, because you're all starting in the fall. So your catalog year is basically based on the time that you start at CSUMB. And so I'm going to have turn it over to Mindy, and she's going to be sharing her screen, I think, and showing you where to find the catalog on our website.
Okay, so there are two ways that you can access the catalog through the CSUMB website. The first is by clicking on Academics. Then we're going to go to Majors and Programs. And a lot of the current requirements will be found underneath your major. So let's see, which one should we do? So if we were to click on Biology, Bachelor's of Science, here you'll find the requirements. So you'll see required courses, learning outcomes, and course pathways. So this is pretty standard for all majors. Another way is to scroll all the way down to any page on the website, click on Catalog. Here you will click on Academic Programs, that's what you're looking for. Undergraduate, all students that we're working with right now are undergraduate students. So here you'll find another list, a little bit more manageable. So I'll go ahead and let's see, I'll click on Human Communications, use this as an example. It's a major that I'm not very familiar with, so we'll kind of navigate it together. Here you'll find a course, a department description of the major. And then we'll click on Required Courses. So here you'll find the standard requirements for all human communication majors. Now, all majors have core requirements. Now, some majors have concentrations. HCOM is an example of a major that has concentrations. And all requirements are split up by MLO. So that's Major Learning Outcomes. So here you'll see MLO 8, MLO 7. So now we get down to the concentrations. So here, if you're already thinking of a concentration, click on any of them, see what they're all about. If you're still undecided, again, explore these lists of concentrations, and then you'll see the separate requirements for the concentration. Okay, and then there's a course pathway. So this resource is here to give you an idea of how to map out your academic path. And you'll notice there's a general freshman pathway, general transfer pathway, and then by concentration. So departments often include courses that are required or that they recommend through the pathway. Here's the general freshman one. So they also may include prerequisites for required courses for the major, but it's more or less used to give you an idea of how to map out your academic path here. Now, a lot goes into planning your academic path, so it's really important that you're familiar with the catalog requirements for your major and that you meet with your academic advisor. We'll go back down to catalog, academic programs, undergraduate programs, and now we'll click on global studies. This is another example. So you'll see here learning outcomes. So like I said earlier, a lot of the requirements for the majors are split up into what we call major learning outcomes. Okay, so this is a good resource if you're ever asking yourself, why do I need to take this course? So these are expected learning outcomes for a specific requirement for the major. Okay, so I've spoken a lot about majors, but there are also minors listed through the catalog. So if you're debating between two fields of study, we don't recommend double majoring. Instead, we recommend majoring and minoring. So minors typically consist of 4 to 5 courses, depending on prerequisites, of course. Most minor coursework is upper division. Upper division courses are numbered 300 to 499. Freshmen, you'll begin taking these courses your junior year, and transfers, you should, if you're interested in minoring, you should begin looking into the requirements and begin planning for the minor. So here you'll see psychology. So there are some lower division courses. So lower division is 100, 199, but you'll see that the rest of the minor consists of upper division courses, so a lot of 300 level.
Can I jump in here, Mindy?
Yes.
So we have a couple questions just to take care of. Before I say that, I just want to mention again, if you're joining us late and you didn't catch the beginning, you might be watching this on YouTube. If you are, that's great. You can put a comment in the comment box, and we'll do our best to answer those in real time. Probably the best way to answer questions is on the chat, and the chat is in Google+. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there should be a small box in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen that says "Be a part of the conversation." If you click that, you can watch this in Google+, and you can use the QA feature, and that's like a live chat that we can use to answer questions. We'll try to answer all the questions that we can. If you started late, you can always go back later and watch this from beginning to end. Two questions that are coming in. One is from Nicole in the chat. She says, will the live stream broadcast start automatically? I believe it should. If not, just reload the page. If you missed some, you can go back and watch it later. Another question we have is from Diane in the chat, and she says, I'm a transfer student. I can't see transcripts, and I don't have a shopping cart. How will this help now when I don't have access to the information I need? And that's a good question. That's a common question. Meg, can I throw this one to you?
Sure. So I think what she's asking is that, I can't access so maybe why, also answer why she can't access her shopping cart and her CMS yet. So once students are officially matriculated, which will happen on June 1st, you should then be able to access your transfer credit report and your Student Center CMS, where you can view the courses that you've transferred in from your previous schools, and see how they transferred to fulfill certain, general ed requirements or even major requirements. So right now, you can kind of, if you feel that you have taken courses at your other school that fulfilled major requirements, you can kind of look and see if you took that equivalent of a requirement for your major by looking on this catalog. So entirely depends what your major is. So this is a tool that it can help you begin your course selection process, so you can kind of navigate through the course requirements for your major and see what, if any courses look familiar that you think you may have taken at your previous schools, you may have already fulfilled that requirement. But you will know more information once you have access to your transfer credit report and your Student Center, and B, also hear from your academic advisor, which each major advisor should be sending emails to their individual majors in the next several weeks with more guidance on course selection. And then also C, so also meeting with your advisor once you start here at CSUMB to develop a learning plan to talk more about, and more specifically, how you've fulfilled certain major requirements if you think that you have at your previous school. I hope that helps answer your question.
So I'm going to just add something to that. So you can begin getting an idea of the courses you may have fulfilled for your major. This is for transfer students.
Yes.
By accessing the catalog. So again, I mentioned lower division and upper division courses. So courses taken at your local community college are lower division courses. So if you see anything for your major requirements that again are numbered between 100 to 299, those could have potentially been fulfilled by courses that you took at your community college. Anything upper division isn't satisfied through transfer courses from a community college.
And I'll tail end this by saying, Diane, if you stick around at the end of the live stream, I'm going to give kind of the roadmap of what the rest of May and June and even July looks like for new students, when they're going to register, when they'll be able to look in their shopping carts. So stick around. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, so that was actually pretty much it for how to navigate major requirements and and minor requirements. Again, undergraduate programs, majors, so let's say kinesiology, required courses. Again, scan through these. You can find out some course information by clicking on that link. And if it's being offered that semester, it'll take you to the class schedule. We'll click on that, and here we'll see, okay, no special notes, but here you'll see prerequisite and co-requisite information, as well as any GE areas that that course may cover. And if there is already an instructor assigned, you'll see the contact information.
And we're actually going to be hosting a whole nother webinar, I believe it's tomorrow, May 24th, in the afternoon, all about the class schedule that Mindy was just on.
Okay, so yeah, that pretty much sums that part up. Does anyone have any questions about finding major and minor requirements?
Yeah, I think we do have one here. This is from Andrea in the chat. She said she saw nursing is listed as, I think, an undergrad major, but okay, I'm trying to read this here. However, when I asked the staff / professors at the school, they told me that CSUMB does not have a nursing major, I think is what she meant to say. So basically, I think she's a little confused because she wants to study nursing. Can one of you guys clarify the nursing program here?
Mindy, you want to take that, or you want me to take it?
Let's see. So I'll give this one a shot. So under majors and programs, I think that's where it's listed. And nursing. Okay. Okay, so it's sort of a unique program in that I believe you begin at the community college and then finish up here. So I would say for more information on this, you want to contact this specific department, just because it's a little bit different than all of our other majors.
I believe nursing is offered through extended education, which is not through stateside college like CSUMB is. Most of your majors are going to be stateside CSUMB majors, but nursing is offered through extended education. And I believe you do, like Mindy said, you have to be transferred from a community college. And I believe their main partner right now is Hartnell, which is located in Salinas. So most of the students who apply to the nursing program here first come from the Hartnell nursing program, and then apply to transfer to the nursing program at CSUMB. It is very impacted and yeah, it's different than the stateside majors that most of you are going to be declared as.
Yeah, and they have that partnership with Monterey Peninsula College and Cabrillo College as well.
Okay, thank you.
So Mindy shared the contact information there. One more question before we keep going. Tammy's in the chat, and she just wants to clarify what does a prereq mean when you say that, and what is a co-req, and what's the difference between the two?
So a prerequisite is a course that you need to take before taking your intended course. And then a co-requisite is a course that you need to take concurrently, so alongside with your intended course. An example of this is human biology and behavior, psych. I think it's Psych 110. So the co-requisite for that course is Psych 110L, which is sort of like a lab component that goes along with that course.
Awesome. Okay. If you guys can remember where we are at, let's keep going.
Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen now. And that, oops. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, so hopefully you all see the CSUMB homepage. Now that Mindy has gone over how to navigate through the catalog to find your major and any minor requirements.
Oh, I don't think we see the homepage. I think we see your Google Plus screen.
All right. Okay, 1 second here.
While you're doing that, we have a question in the chat. When do we start putting classes in our shopping carts? You can start doing that, I think, on June 2nd. And we're going to, starting on, I think, June 3rd, every single live stream for a whole week is going to be just on how to actually put classes in your cart, how to use our schedule planning tool. So we're definitely going to cover you guys for that. In the meantime, before that, we're going to show you a lot about what classes to actually take. You good, Meg?
Can you see my screen now? Can you see the homepage?
Yep.
Great. Okay, so now that Mindy was covered the how to navigate to your major requirements through the catalog, you may be asking yourself, what other requirements do I have to think about in order to graduate from CSUMB? So you also, every student has to consider the university as well as GE requirements in addition to your major and minor requirements to graduate from CSUMB. So I'm going to navigate back to the catalog under, I'm just going to scroll to the very bottom of the screen and click catalog, academic programs, undergraduate programs, and then click university requirements on the left. So the first university requirement that every incoming freshman student has to fulfill is FYS, which is right here, first year seminar. First year seminar is basically a single course that every freshman needs to take in their first year at CSUMB. It will cover a curriculum regarding how to navigate college. So navigate college, and more specifically navigate CSUMB as a first year college student. And in addition to taking that FYS course, you will also be fulfilling a general education requirement when you take that course, which I'll talk more about that later. So but there possibly are a lot of transfer students watching this live stream. If you have transferred in more than 30 units from your other school, then those students who have done that are exempt from the first year seminar requirement. It's mainly for first-time freshmen. The second requirements that students have to consider, in addition to their FYS and also major requirements, is general education requirements. So I'm just going to actually click just general education on the left here. General education basically introduces students to different types of knowledge and skills that you can be exposed to that are outside of your major. All you transfer students will know a lot about GEs because you probably spent a lot of your time at your other school completing a lot of GE requirements, so you can be eligible to transfer to CSUMB. Freshmen, you are going to be completing, most of you are going to be completing the majority of your general education courses in your first 2 years at CSUMB. It does depend on your major. Some majors will have major requirements early as, your freshman or sophomore year, so you're going to be kind of mixing in those GE classes along with major classes. Some majors will mainly are going to be just completing GE courses in your first 2 years, and then move on to major requirements in your second and your upper division junior senior years. So basically, every student has to complete areas A through E of general ed, and you can see the descriptions of each GE by clicking on the certain area. I'm going to click on Area A, English Language Communication and Critical Thinking. as an example, and then you can see each of the areas within the A area general ed that you'll have to complete by taking one class. You just click on one of the drop-down menus. I'm going to click on A1, Oral and Written Communication. You'll see a list of approved courses that you can take at CSUMB to fulfill that particular GE requirement. And again, like Mindy mentioned earlier, not all of these courses are going to be offered every single semester. Some might only be offered in fall, some might be only offered in spring. So we're going to talk more about how to find certain classes, certain semesters when we host the live stream about the web schedule. And also, we can't stress enough the importance of meeting with your academic advisor once you start here at CSUMB to develop a learning plan, so you can get an idea of when you're going to be taking all these GE courses. I'm going to click back to the catalog. So the third university requirement that you should be considering, in addition to your major GEs and FYS requirement, is the language proficiency requirement. Every incoming freshman needs to meet intermediate level of proficiency in a language other than English. So before I move on, I'm going to go back to the undergraduate programs page, and then the language proficiency information will be on the left-hand side here. Click language proficiency. There are many ways to meet the language proficiency requirement. Majority of students will meet it by taking a class. But if you click on the How to Fulfill the Requirement tab, you'll be able to see other ways that you may have already met the language proficiency requirement. And this is, so again, all freshmen will have to complete this requirement, so language proficiency requirement, but transfers, some transfers are exempt from completing the language proficiency requirement. For example, if you have transferred into a high unit major and have completed all your GEs, then you are exempt from the language proficiency. But you can read more about exemptions and how, if you are exempt, here under the exemptions heading. So if there are any questions about that, I'm happy to take those. That's basically an overview of how you can find those university and GE requirements in addition to your major and minor requirements at CSUMB.
This might be a good time for me to just mention, if anyone is joining us late and missed some of the early announcements, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can watch the entire stream there. I'm watching the comments boxes, so you can write any comments. We'll try to answer all the questions. There's also a live chat in the Google Plus version of this stream. And to get to that, if you're watching it on YouTube, just click on that small box in the bottom left-hand corner that says Be a Part of the Conversation. And we have some questions now. They're not all necessarily about what you were talking about, Meg, but all questions are welcome. So Christopher is asking when we're going to get our school emails.
So I believe you'll have access to your CSUMB email once you are officially matriculated, which will be on June 1st, but students should have access to their CSUMB email and their student center, shopping cart, transfer credit, all that stuff by June 2nd.
And
the latest.
I might add that it might be 1 or 2 days after June 2nd. The email, sometimes it lags a little bit behind the rest of the processes. Usually we'll contact you and say, hey, your email's been created, and I'll make sure to post that in as many places as I can, including the CSUMB Class of 20 Facebook group, which we have one, if you didn't know about CSUMB Class of 2020. There's about 300 people on there, and I'm sharing information there too. Other question, Perla is asking, so are we pretty much choosing our classes by what we see through the catalog and not a lot of guides from the advisors?
And do you want to take that, or do you want me to take that?
I recommend a healthy balance of both. So we'd like for students to be self-directed navigators through their academic path, but definitely meet with an academic advisor to make sure that you're on the right track. A lot of us will start to see students around July to create ed plans, so if you're local, you're in the area, reach out to us, request an appointment. If not, we'll create an education plan in the fall or even in the spring. But yeah, we'd like you to be able to navigate through the catalog and select your courses. That way you can always reach out to our office and work with an advisor to make sure, though, that you've selected the proper courses.
Awesome. Another question from Sammy. Why do we put courses in our shopping cart? Which is actually a good question. We should explain that.
That is a great question. So you put classes in your shopping cart. It's basically like thinking of it like as your shopping cart on Amazon. So you pick courses that you want to take. So it's through these next, several weeks in May and June, through all these live streams, the call-in hours that we'll be hosting, emails from your advisors. You will start to get a good idea of what you want to take your first semester at CSUMB. Once you have that list of courses that you want to take, then those are the courses that you put in your shopping cart and your CMS to hang on to. And then once your registration date opens, which we'll talk more about when that will be later, then you'll be ready to add those courses on that day. So it doesn't hold your space.
Putting courses in your shopping cart saves them for you, so no one else can get them.
I was just about to say, no, it doesn't. So it doesn't mean that you have a seat in the class. It just means that those are the classes that you are hoping to take your first semester. We always recommend that you have a couple backups in your shopping cart as well, in case your first choices do get full. So yeah, it's basically having them in an organized place so you are ready to enroll in them on your day and time.
Awesome. Okay, I'll take one or two more, and then we'll keep going our presentation, but like I said, we'll try to get to all the questions by the end of it. Okay, Tammy's asking, how do I know which language course to take?
Okay, Tammy, great. I will share my screen again. Please. Can you see on the language proficiency screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a good question. So students will have varying experience of speaking a foreign language. Oh, I forgot to mention which foreign language classes we have on this campus. We have Spanish, American Sign Language, Italian, and Japanese courses. So basically the beginning course in those languages is the 101 level. So Spanish 101, Italian 101. If I click on the Take a Class heading, it'll give more information. But you basically have to reach the 201 level, which is the intermediate third semester level of a foreign language, of a language other than English, to fulfill the language proficiency requirement. If you have had experience speaking one of those languages, let's say you took 2 or 3 semesters in high school or years in high school of one of those languages, and you feel that you are more advanced than just beginning 101 level, then you can meet with your advisor or also contact the World Language and Culture Department, which we can give you that information. That's right here. Their email's right here, wlc@csumb.edu, to get some guidance on which level of a language other than English class that you can start with. So some students are ready to jump right into 201, and some students would like to start off with 101 and work their way to 102 and 201. So the most semesters you would take are 3 semesters of a language other than English.
And I'm just going to add, if you are a heritage speaker in Spanish or any other language, there's a level 212 option, so Spanish 212 for Spanish heritage speakers. That's if you have you grew up speaking that language, or you have an informal education in it. That's definitely the level that you want to look into. Then any other language, there's World Languages and Cultures 212. That's WLC 212, and for that, you definitely want to contact the World Languages and Cultures Department. That course is offered only in the spring for now, so that's definitely another option, and there's actually a list of languages other than the ones we offer and Spanish that fall under that category.
Awesome. Hope that answered your question, Tammy. Okay, let's keep going. You guys remember where we were at?
Oops. Whoa. So I was just finishing up going over the different university requirements, and I was basically done. Did Mindy want to touch on the catalog archive?
Yes. So I will go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So catalog archive. So again, Meg mentioned that your catalog is the fall 2016-2017 catalog. That is your academic year. So we're going to go to academics catalog. Now so for the entire year 2016, academic year 2016-2017, your catalog will be up. But after that, the new catalog, the 2017-2018 catalog will be up, and those requirements may not necessarily pertain to you because sometimes slight changes are made from one year to the next. So you want to make sure that you continue to follow your year. So we'll go to Catalog Archive, and here you'll see a list of previous catalogs, and that's how you'll go ahead and access it. So we're going to click on 2015-2016 just to give you an idea. And here you'll see academic programs, undergraduate programs, list of majors. So keep that in mind. You want to continue to follow 2016-2017. That is pretty much it regarding the catalog archive, unless anyone has any questions.
Hang on a second. Let me pop in here. We have a lot of questions, but none about the archive in particular so far. I see some more on languages, and we're going to get to those, but let's keep going until the end, and then we'll power through all the questions.
I think that we wrapped up, Mindy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let me make us all equal again. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to go over what the rest of the summer looks like for all the incoming students. And I'll do this at the end of every live stream, and I'm sure this will generate more questions, and that's great. So let me share my screen. Okay, so this is our advising homepage. It's really easy to find. It's csumb.edu/advising. Just on this homepage, we have basically the full rundown of all the events that we're going to be offering for the rest of May and all of June. Right at the very top, I highly encourage you to take a look at our checklists. These are really, linear guides about what you do in what order. We have some marked as mandatory, which means it's really good that you do them, otherwise you might not know what's going on with your registration, and then some are optional. Just taking them sort of one at a time, we have the live streams. There's 13 of those. We encourage you to come to every one, although keep in mind that there are some that are just for freshmen and some that are just for transfers, so I guess every one that's appropriate for you. Second thing we have is advising call-in hours. These are certain blocks of time that we've set off every day for the next week or so where you can call in and talk to an actual advisor. And these start this afternoon. Do you remember what time this afternoon starts, ladies?
1 p.m.
Awesome. Now, with the call-in hours, these are really designed for kind of quick questions and quick answers, really similar to what we're seeing in the chat right now. So one, I don't want people to think that if you call, you'll have, you know, like an hour-long or even a half-hour-long phone appointment with your advisor. We're really looking for things that we could answer in 5 to 10 minutes, show you something on the website. If you want something a little bit more in-depth, we have open labs on campus, and those are going to start in June. And they're actual, you know, we've reserved some space at some of our large computer labs in the library, which is the same building that we're housed. And that's for some group advising where advisors can speak to groups of students and maybe kind of troubleshoot those last-minute things before you actually register. One thing I really want to stress with the open labs is that they are optional. You're not required to go to them, and you might not even need to go to them if you feel really good with the live streams and maybe you did one of the call-in hours. So especially if you live far away, I don't want you to be driving 8 hours and spending money to come to the open labs because it's really group advising. It's not a one-on-one advising session. And then also on the page, you can see all of our events sort of in order. You can RSVP to them. If you want to come to an open lab, there's a way you can RSVP to that. As far as how things are going to work in June, your shopping carts and your CSUMB email and your transfer credit report is all going to go live, I'd say within the first week of June or early in the second week is when all of that stuff should be in place. Then you can start putting stuff in your shopping cart. You're going to come to your new student orientation. And then as far as when you actually register, it's right at the top of our homepage right here. New transfer students who come to orientation will start registering on Tuesday, June 21st. If you're a freshman and you came to orientation, you're going to register that Thursday, the 23rd. And if you did not go to any orientation, you register Monday, June 27th, which is why it's worth going to orientation because it's a really good experience and it's a good way to get off on the right foot and meet some of your classmates, but also you get to register a little bit earlier. And that's about it. Let's take some questions here. Okay. Sammy's asking, I'm unable to meet with an academic advisor in person, but I would like to talk to one before choosing my courses for the fall. Is it best to email them or call in during the call-in hours?
If it's major specific, I would contact your academic advisor. If it's general questions, then definitely call in during the call-in hours because various advisors will be answering the phone during that time, so you may not necessarily get to speak to your assigned advisor.
Awesome.
I also would encourage you to attend as many as the live streams as possible, and then be on the lookout for your emails from your academic advisors, which should be emailing you in the next few weeks as well with more guidance on picking classes depending on your major. So yeah, and also you're welcome to email us as well, but attending those events would really help you get a better idea too.
We got a question on YouTube from Crystal. What if I'm coming from a quarter system school and grades won't be done until after June 10th? Will I still be able to add classes in my cart?
Yes. So if the pending courses are needed to fulfill prerequisites, so again, prerequisites are courses that you need in order to add a specific class, then you'll probably need to get a permission number to add the course. Every department has a different way of sort of handling that, so if you're not quite sure who to contact for a permission number, just contact our office and we'll point you in the right direction.
And I know what you're wondering, what are permission numbers? And we're going to go over a lot of that in the future live streams, so that's a rabbit hole we don't need to go down to right now, but we will cover that. Okay, question from Shane. Will high-level classes taken at a JC transfer to CSUMB like organic chemistry?
So if you took it at a JC, then it is considered a lower division course, even though that is, I'm sure it was a very rigorous course. So you're most likely my student because if you took OChem, you're probably biology. So it most likely, yes, will transfer to fulfill the OChem requirement that that you have for your major. But you're welcome to email me with more if you have additional questions about that. But it's we do have a series, organic chemistry series, where the first class you take is lower division and the second class you take is upper division. So if you're wondering if you took a year of organic chemistry at your JC, it most likely, yes, will fulfill the organic chemistry requirement, but it will not count towards upper division units.
Boom. I
That's
think that
pretty
was pretty
standard
clear.
for a lot of majors.
Yes.
I mentioned it earlier again. Community college courses are lower division, so if you see a requirement in the catalog for your major that's 100 to 299, then potentially yes, or most likely yes, it was met through your community college course. 300 level or higher, no.
Okay, question from Caitlin. I'm an AAT English transfer. Are there different required courses for me, or do I still pay attention to the human communications transfer requirements? Mindy, I think you were in the human communication catalog page, right?
Yes. There are some differences, so again, you can access that information through the catalog. I will go ahead and share my screen because this is pretty standard for a lot of majors. Okay, so we'll go down academic programs, undergraduate, human communication, required courses. So here you'll see a list of AAT certified requirements. So you'll see the AAT certified in English, and you'll follow this list of requirements. So they may be the same as the traditional pathway. They may be different. But yeah, just to be on the safe side, if you want to continue with that path, you want to follow these requirements.
Okay. Sammy is asking, do we follow catalog year 16-17 during our whole time at CSUMB?
Yes.
Yes. Great question. Yes, you do.
Simple. Love it. Question. I am a freshman at CSUMB, and I'll be attending the freshman orientation on June 18th. Will there be staff to help us pick and register for classes?
So you will not be registering for classes at orientation. You will be registering after orientation, depending on which one you go to. But you are going to have the opportunity to meet your advisors at orientation. But it's the setting where you will meet them is, well, it'll be a large group of students in your major, and your advisors will present to you. Or also, you may even have faculty who are in your major there that you can meet and that can speak with you. And if there's an opportunity, then yes, of course you can ask questions there, but there is not going to be a session specifically for helping you to register in courses.
Boom. Okay. Andrea is asking us, AP scores will not be released until July, and we're registering for our classes in June, so will I be able to drop or change classes later since passing the AP exam can exempt us from certain classes? That is a fantastic question.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and take that one. Yes, you can adjust your schedule. You can actually adjust it up until the first 2 weeks of the semester. We don't recommend waiting until that second week. If any changes are going to be made last minute, it should be done during the first week. But to get an idea of the courses or the GE areas that your AP tests may have met, you can actually access that through the CSUMB website. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I usually just do a quick search, credit by exam. How to earn credit by exam, I think is the one. You're going to click on the coded memo. Okay, so here you'll see a list of AP tests and the passing score, and the GE area it will meet. So most of these are pretty similar to our GE areas. There are some slight differences. You'll see this D8. We don't have a D8, but it will be applied to an area D, like D1 or D3. You'll see that there too.
D1 is our social sciences GE, and D3 is our lower division service learning.
Yes, thank you.
But we'll learn more about those in other live streams as well.
So if you feel that you passed your AP test, use this list as a guide in determining which areas you may have already fulfilled.
Great. Got a question on YouTube from Landon. I'm a transfer student as a kinesiology major, yet when I search classes, the ones I need are full. So what's the best option? Can I just email my advisor? And he says, I think he's saying he missed the part where he can get help to build his schedule before the school starts. You didn't miss that part, Landon. Today we just talked about the catalog. We're going to have a lot more live streams talking about how you build your schedule and use our schedule planner tool. But for the first part,
yeah, so you definitely can reach out to your academic advisor for your kin major, and we can show you on our website how you can see who your academic advisor is. We actually have a new advisor for kinesiology. If you go, just click on the CSUMB logo at the top left-hand corner, and then go to our homepage, which if we just go to csumb.edu/advising.
I was trying to get Alex to come in, but he's too shy.
And then go to Meet the Staff page. So I'm not sure if Alex Jernigan's information is up on this page yet, but that is the new kinesiology advisor. But for all you other students who are listening, this is where you can find who your academic advisor is depending on your major. Lists all the majors each advisor advises for under their name. I don't think Alex is up yet. So there most likely will be other ways where other classes that you can take. Even though they seem like there are a lot that are full, if you, again, be on the lookout for those emails from Alex, and you are welcome to contact him directly if you would like other advice on what other classes are available for you to take. Most likely you will be able to find classes that you can get into in your first semester, even though some may seem full. For example, a lot of transfer students, it's not uncommon for transfer students to come in with 1 or 2 GEs still to do once they start here. So you may even be taking some general ed courses your first semester. So yeah, you could definitely, Mindy, you don't have anything else to add to that. I think reaching out to your advisor would be the best bet.
Yeah. And if they've emailed you and you have further questions, just respond to that email.
Okay, let's get a couple others out of the way here. Okay, I have a question from Christina. All right, Christina, try to re-ask the question because you said, my advisor told me they would do it at orientation. Did this change? I'm not sure what it is. See if you can ask it again, and I'll make sure we get to it. Another question on the chat. I took French 1, 2, and 3 in high school. Do I still need to take a language course at CSUMB?
So there are different exams that you can take, like I believe you can take the CLEP. Let's see, if we go back to the catalog, You may or may not. You have to take a class at CSUMB. There are exams that you can take externally that can exempt students depending on the score that they receive from the language proficiency requirement. But those exams vary in subject. But if you are again, you can reach out to the World Language and Culture Department to see what the best course of action would be for your proficiency level in French. If you feel, if it's most likely won't be the heritage speaker class. If we I'll go to language proficiency. If you go to placement, you can read about the different IB exams, also exemptions. Let's see here. And then, oh yeah, how to filter for requirement. If you read about the college level entrance program, if you score level 2 in French.
Are you trying to share your screen?
Oh, am I not? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. So I'm back on the language proficiency section of the catalog, and under how to fulfill the requirement, under CLEP, or college level entrance program, if students score a 59 or above on CLEP level 2 in French, then that satisfies the language proficiency requirement. And you can definitely contact the World Language and Culture Department about more information about that CLEP exam to see if you feel that it would be worth it to take it. But other than that,
Awesome.
you may be required to take a class. Oh, and sorry, one more thing. Even if you take an intermediate level French class at a community college, so that's even an option. You could take intermediate level French at a JC over the summer if you can find a community college course that offers it. So you don't have to start over with another language, even though you may want to, but that's another option you can explore with your advisor as well.
Okay, we got a couple more minutes here, and we have just a couple more questions. So, oh, this is a good one. I'm transferring from San Jose State University. I'm having trouble understanding what courses I've taken that articulate to CSUMB, mainly the upper divisions.
So typically for that, you will need to meet with a faculty advisor or the department chair for your major, because only they can approve. I think that would probably be considered a substitution for a major requirement, so only they can approve that.
Great. And, man, last one for fun, although I'm not super sure how well we'll be able to answer all of it, but Perla is asking, off topic from the catalog, what can we expect as a transfer student on orientation day?
There's a lot. There's a lot going on. You're going to be meeting support programs on campus. I believe there's lots of different presenters. You'll be able to meet. You'll have orientation leaders there that are going to be from your major, so they're going to be the ones kind of touring you around that day, showing you different parts of campus, guiding you from session to session. So that'll be cool. You'll meet your advisors for your major, and there'll be a resource fair as well, where there'll be lots of people you can talk to about different resources and campus support programs that we have on this campus. Anything you want to add, Mindy?
No, that's pretty much it. It'll just give you a better understanding of our campus. There's a lot of different departments, so sometimes students will reach out to us and they'll have a very specific question for us, and we'll say, oh no, you actually need to contact admissions, or you need to contact the registrar's office or records. So it'll just give you an overall better understanding of our campus, and also how advising works, who your advisor is. This can vary by major. For some majors, all of the advising is done through our office. For a handful of majors, it's split between our office for your freshman and sophomore year, and then through the department for your junior and senior year. So you'll get a better understanding of all of that.
Okay, last question was asked at the last minute here. I'm a transfer student from Hartnell College. My major is collaborative health and human services. And I was wondering if I should start adding classes to my cart before orientation, or will someone be there to help get classes on orientation day?
Oh. That's a good question, because that's one of the majors that's actually split. So as a transfer student, you're an upper division student, and you will be meeting with a faculty advisor for advising. But I do believe that someone from the CHHS department will be there during orientation, so they'll be able to address any questions you may have regarding your major requirements. So yeah, it might be a good idea to start getting your shopping cart together.
Yeah, and I would add to that you lose nothing by putting courses in your shopping cart. You're not locked into them. You can change courses, so if nothing else, it's a good exercise to do it. You can change courses later. Okay, so that's today's live stream. This is all going to be saved on YouTube. You can watch it, and also if you watch the Google Plus stream after the fact, you can fast forward to all the questions. They're all going to be indexed. Tomorrow's live stream is going to be in the afternoon, so we do one in the morning, and then the next day we do the afternoon. We kind of alternate because of your schedules. Tomorrow we're going to look at the web schedule, how to actually find classes and what times they're offered. And we'll still take questions. We don't mind off-topic questions. I mean, we want to make sure we answer for everyone. And thank you so much for attending this and being active and being engaged. And remember, there's call-in hours this afternoon starting at 1 o'clock. So give us a call and ask us those follow-up questions. Ladies, thank you very much. You're awesome.
Thanks, Louie.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.